your first question this week's 3 and Out. If you were forced into gladiatorial combat in the Roman Colosseum, but you could only use a weapon that isn't typically considered a weapon, what non-conventional weapon would you choose?
Okay, something that's not considered a weapon. I'm assuming I don't have access to any electrical. I don't have access to any outlet or anything like that. I'm in the Coliseum.
No, this is also, before Benjamin Franklin electrocuted the shit out of himself with a cut on a fucking storm in the 1700s.
Like all good things, when I think about something, I want to get a good answer. Crack a beer. Here's a wise friend of mine, Murray, you know him, Alan Jackson. He told me that not the country singer, but the guy, Perryville guy. Yep. He had said, Alan, you know him too?
Oh yeah, I know him.
Okay, fair enough.
I know.
He said the most inconspicuous weapon that a person can have is a cane. When you walk with a cane, everyone assumes that you have some ailment. But if you really want to get down to it, that thing can do some fucking damage. Is a cane a weapon? No. You can walk onto it. You can go to the airport with it. You can get on a plane. You can get into a secure building. You can do jury duty with it. You can go to any sporting event. Just kind of limp around. That rang true, and really nothing else is coming to mind. The most non-conspicuous, maybe like Benoit balls. If I thought I was going into some orgy, I wanted to whip those suckers around.
Hey, wait a minute, that's actually not bad, because you could throw them, you could use them as a projectile. So then you could also whip them around. That's not a.
You could pull like the Empire Strikes Back, like they wrap up the chicken walker's feet. You could do that to a would-be assailant.
and they're easily concealed.
Sir, do you walk your... Sir, do you normally walk with your feet that spread apart?
And like a cane, you walk like with a limp.
I'm gonna go with cane.
Okay, you're going with cane. Alan.
Can you repeat the question? Because I want to hear how you worded it again.
Okay. All right. I dropped the light. So
dude walks into a bar. Okay.
If you were forced into gladiatorial combat, but you could only choose a weapon that isn't typically considered a weapon, what non-conventional weapon would you choose?
Okay. That's what I thought you said. I don't know. I felt like Wes put a time period constraint on it for some odd reason.
Well, he started to talk about electric, so I figured he was going to go with like a chainsaw or I don't know, just like an exposed wire that was plugged into the wall.
So this is going to play off of a couple of things. Well, a game that I just have been recently playing, because as you guys know, I like to play some video games. So I've been playing a video game recently that has a unique what they call in game terms melee weapon. So a weapon that you would just, beat somebody with about the head and neck area. And that weapon is a giant purple dildo, much like the dildo that was stolen from the adult store that we covered months back. So the way that they have done this is basically just rammed a rod into this dildo. Not all the way through, though, so that the tip is still floppy for effect, but enough so that you have a pretty solid, let's say lacrosse stick length to give somebody a good thrashing with. So if I could fashion me one of those, if I could ram a stick through a giant dildo and use it as a baseball bat, I think that's what I would go with.
I'm sure you could find a rigid dildo out there. I don't know if that's, you don't have to go to all this manufacturing.
Yeah, but I think the handle's important for leverage. You know what I mean?
Sure.
For swinging.
I think in that era of Rome,
you could just grab it by the shaft, I guess. But
in that era of Rome, there were certainly a lot of rigid dildos just fucking planting around in some of these huts and houses. Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. Well, I mean, okay. Now, maybe I threw you off with the. It can still be a modern item. It just can't be electrical.
You keep putting this time constraint on it. Like
that was my fault. I confused the question. That was me causing Wes to avoid using electrical devices.
Okay, what is this like Marty McFly flying into the Roman Coliseum in the DeLorean? I can only
it
bring
doesn't
one
have
thing.
to be Rome.
it doesn't have to be back then. It could be right now. It could be anything.
He said gladiator.
I know, but gladiatorial combat, like it's a style of combat. It's not a time period.
It's not a noun.
Okay,
it's not a time. It's just a style. Yeah,
it's like a doggy style.
I mean, I don't know if they had a whole. Well, they probably had like walking sticks, but I don't know if they necessarily had canes back then. But I'm not going to call you on that.
Yeah,
I'll tell you. Here you go. For example, my weapon of choice was going to be the exercise bands. The like the rubber tubing, with the handles on them, because I feel like you could
the Randy Johnson exercise thing.
No,
the surgical tubing with handles on them.
Yes, not the body blade, Wes. Thank you. I actually
the body blade. That took me back. All right, sorry.
Yeah, it was like the shake weight.
Murr bought it.
I did buy it. I think it's in my garage somewhere too. I might break that fucker out because now major league pitchers do use them for shoulder workouts. It only took 20 years for the. I was ahead of the times there, champ. No, but I saw a video recently of a guy and he's laying on the couch and his toddler grabs one end of the exercise band and he holds onto the other end and the toddler backs way up until, of course, the little tiny toddler can't hold on to the strength of the exercise band, and it whips and it hits him right in the dick. And Dad just goes into it's terrible, and he just utters to himself, "I wish I saw that coming." And I just think, in gladiatorial combat, you could whip it around, you could stretch it out. If you found an item on the ground like a rock, you could use it as a slingshot. You could choke a man out with that thing. I just feel like that's a good non-traditional weapon that could be used in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I think I'm still going to stick with Kane. I'm cool with that. I'm good with that. I feel good about that one.